Hello, everyone. Sorry for my delay. I thought I changed my stream and pushed it back 30 minutes, but it evidently did not. I was trying to do that last night, but it seems like it didn't do it. So it makes it where I'm late. But I did get some boxes in. This is not it. This is the one I was working on. I went ahead and I went with a rainbow zipper. And it's bent right there because I've been messing with it. And I have to sew my bottom in. And I have another one cut out to work with. But what I have sitting at my feet is even better. I just have to take the label off of it first. Because these boxes should have been delivered a couple of days ago, and they decided to take a tour of Georgia first. Really need to make sure I put down that razor knife before I go trying to do stuff before I land it into my leg. I got a box of pretties. Hi, Beth. I got a box. I got actually 2 boxes from Lisa. And I'm going to have to put this back on my lap because the box is so big. And some of it is literally just paper. When I get a box, I actually open the paper all the way to make sure there was nothing small inside. Because you never know what you're going to find. But of course, this is just a stand. Lisa does such a kind job. She gives you lots of tape. Whether you want it or not, you get lots of tape. You need it. She does make sure the boxes are secure so that none of your items, to minimize the risk of any of your items getting broken. I'll put it that way because the post office is capable of breaking anything if they put their mind to it. And it's a wing. That goes on this stand. Just need the other one, which I'm going to guess is not that one. And Lisa puts the bubble wrap on right. because the bubbles are on the inside, which means I can rip the tape off and not pop all the bubbles. Hi, Lisa. Look what I got. And I have a slamming headache today. I don't know what our weather's doing, but it's trying to get me. Oh, this little guy got into me. That's okay. That's wire, and I can bend it back. I need to add put the light on my phone. Oh, I got another box in the rug. Wonder who sent me the second box in black. Can't imagine who gave me another box there. I think that light will help it some. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? My desk is one full of pretties, and I'm okay with that. I'm going to leave the box under the... I just remember when Rosie was doing her unboxing, and I said something about just pulling the tape off. Someone said that, oh, that'll just pop all the bubbles. And I said it was dependent on how the bubble wrap is put on. Oh, it's so pretty. Look at this. It's gorgeous. Totally gorgeous. And it's ice cold, and I'm loving it. It's going to be fun. I'm going to have to get someone to help me take all of these upstairs. I'm going to have to rewrap some of them, because I'm not going to throw all these in a box and just wander up the stairs with them with my decrepit self. Pretty sure I know what this is, because I think I've only gotten two things from you that are on a stand recently. And this is too small to be a citrine. Not only that, you sent the box out before I got the citrine from you. So, come on. my desk will be full of tape. I'm trying to find the seam. Because yes, my bubble wrap does get repurposed and used again. And I think it's the smart thing to do instead, because this is my little piece. I don't throw that into the landfills. Instead, it goes back to Florida. That is, my camera froze. I think. Yep, it's frozen. Let me see if I can get it to fix itself. There we go. Get that to zoom me down a little bit. Yeah. Into this light bulb. One beautiful amethyst. Hi, Jennifer. I am actually opening a box of gems and crystals and who's it's and what's it that I got from Lisa, from Two Leaves in a Pod. From the Lisa side of Two Leaves in a Pod. Lisa created a puzzle with this one. Which means she sealed up those ends really well. The ripping of the tape is your ASMR of the day. Oh, look at that. Look at that smoky. And my opening this up on video means that I totally trust how she packs everything, that I don't expect to find anything all broken up, because oh wait, look, the post office, probably this box, you know how the post office treats things, and that is exactly what came off of this one, and that is not uncommon. I have yet to get one even from the professional shippers that come like that, and that's beautiful. And those little pieces don't get wasted. I actually have something I put them in. They're helping my skull get full. That is so pretty. Where is my flashlight thingy? I'm covering up with gems. see if I can get it where you can see it better. This isn't the greatest light in the world. Maybe that'll work better. But it's pretty. I needed a pretty smoky to put a smile on my face. Yep. Ha ha ha. So when Lisa tells us she's packing boxes, what we know is she's doing her own kindergarten craft of encasing our items in bubble wrap and tape. This. There we go. Lots and lots and lots of tape. I am not complaining about the tape. You will not hear me complain about all the tape. Because all the tape keeps all the bubble wrap and brings me beauties like this. And this is that dark. And this is the one that has that beautiful line in it. Goes all the way around. She's so pretty and I love it. She has this right here that is so, oh, you can't see that one. You got that one right there that is so light colored compared to the ones next to it. With all the bags of bubble wrap that went to Robbie's last time, I'm gonna wind up, I don't know what, take it to Lisa. Oh, that one I'll look at later. Right, next. Ooh, it's a biggie. Which means some of these pretties have to move. Okay, I'll move my weights for now. Scooch you back. That fluorite is gorgeous. Just gorgeous, Lisa. When you tell me something's prettier than the camera doesn't pick it up, I believe you. I just know this is a biggie. This one is heavily encased in tape. But it deserves to be heavily encased in tape. I'm sure of it. Because it's a pretty I got from Lisa. I think there's 2 pieces on this. I'm not sure. Thank you for participating. Huge piece of tape off of all that. Oh. And no broke pieces. Oh, I know. I have the phone over here. I don't know how to make it work. I don't think there's an easy way for me to do that. So this one, because I just had a flashlight and I've already misplaced it. This one has so many things going on. It's got a little spot there. It's got all this up here. It is so pretty. Look at that amethyst, because I needed more amethyst, you know. It's got a little pocket down here that goes way down. It is absolutely gorgeous. Hi, MZ. I got my boxes that traipsed around Georgia for 2 days. Should have been delivered already, but yeah. There's my flashlight I was looking for. Go from big to little. Good Lord, Lisa. You must go through a lot of tape. I think Lisa put a roll of tape in my boxes. This is Topher's, I think. I'm gonna have to unpack everything to decide if this is his or mine. But I know he got a Rory Stone. And my bag of rocks. Lisa does not give me the pretty bags because I give Lisa the pretty bags. I send them back to Lisa. But look at these gorgeous chunks of stone. And I don't know why I can't find my camera today. That one might read ametrine, I'm not sure. Looking at the amount of yellows in it. But it also goes to an orangey color, so pretty blue. And my brain's not functioning today to tell me what anything is, so. Oh. These are the tumbles that I didn't need that I bought anyway. And clears, because everybody needs clears. Everybody needs their clear quartz if they're going to have a collection. You've heard Robbie say that. You've heard Lisa say that. And some of those look like they border the milky quartz. And, ooh, that one's special. And always, pay attention, because you never know what you're going to find on them. This one's got something going on. And I'm going to guess that all quartz starts with the same root, and that's going to be from the clear quartz. And depending on what's in the ground around it, depends on if it becomes what stone after that. Because we know that amethyst and citrine are actually the same. But heat definitely affects what you get. Heat affects it a lot. And so that is how you wind up with the ametrine, because you have an area that's not one consistent heat zone, I'm guessing. And you have your amethyst develop, and then some areas get hotter, and you wind up with citrine. And various little pretties. And you do wind up, you get sodalite, lapis, agates of different varieties. And in the general tumbles, you will get some that are dyed. That is true from every place I've ever gotten tumbles. But they throw in some dyed to give some vibrant colorations. But the majority of them are still naturals. Carnelian agates, you'll have some jaspers and stuff like that. And you wind up with a bag of pretties. And I did not need a bag of pretties, but I wanted a bag of pretties. Lisa has saw my box of tumbles before I sorted them. And then this is just one of Lisa's specials. It is a heart, and it is shades of purple in there. And it's resin. Lisa does a lot of resin work. And so you wind up with some pretties in your boxes. And I wind up with pretties in my boxes. And it makes me happy. Oh, I see a pretty. Oh, and I have another heart. And I have another heart. Some of them were down with the last layer. So I have 3 hearts. And then I have a box in a box, and I can't tell if the labels. I don't want to put it up there until I know it. I'm not going to show anything on the any labeling. I think Lisa has it all covered up, but it's okay. I will just make sure I unbox this. Oh no, these are the kids. That other one was mine. Mine. And nothing came off of this baby. Look at this. Chunka on a stand. Hi, Marcia. And Lisa's naming these stones as I unpack them. I will have to tell the kids to come down. Oliver got a pendulum, and Topher got himself a worry stone. I'm going to actually text them right now and tell them they can come get theirs and see if it's okay for me to open them for them. Children. I'm going to let them open those. I'm not going to unbag those because that's theirs. And then this box, in the bottom of this box, comes out the pretty. Slide that Pedialyte back there. Look at this resin snake that Lisa did. This is a resin snake. It does have real snake skin included from a green mamba. That came from Get Swamped. Robbie takes his snake sheds and he gives Lisa the sheds so that she can use them in her resin work. And you can see I doubt the camera is going to pick it up, but you can actually see that there's snake skin in here. And Lisa did a fine job getting the coloration good on this. That is so cool. I got a snake. Let me see if I can. See if I run the light down his body. No, that's not going to work. You can see through him now, and he has multicolors, and I doubt you can see that because I'm trying to hold him up to the other light. Oliver, open your package and then hand it back to me so I can show everybody. I'm doing an unboxing, but I didn't want to be the one that took it out for you.
Do you want to keep the bag?
Yeah, well, if you want to keep the bag, you can keep the bag. If you don't keep the bag, then I will take it to Lisa's house.
I might keep it during that. Pendulum.
Is this one hematite? Or?
I think so.
Yeah, that's hematite. So that was you can come over here and say thank you.
Oh,
Lisa is on the live, is watching.
Thank you, Lisa.
Oliver likes that pendulum. MC, Marcia doesn't have a collection. Marcia's grandson, James, has a collection. Oh, maybe they're going to get their gator back. That means, is he on live now? Because if so, that means I'm going to lose everybody. Cardboard, get in there. We're going to put all this stuff in this box, and then it is going to have bubble wrap around it. And even just for moving it through my house, bubble wrap will be involved because I do not trust myself carrying this all upstairs without some protection. Yeah. Because evidently I can knock things over too. Gosh, I love that. That fluorite is just beautiful. And I love that green stripe in the middle of this huge chunk of purple. It's gorgeous. No denying it. Absolutely gorgeous chunk. And all this bubble wrap has to go upstairs in the white stuff. And that was the first thing I opened. My birdie. This will go with the purple one I have. My purple wings. I'm going to have to do some adjustment on the metal because it seems like the metal got bent a little bit in shipping, which does not surprise me. I guess I could have shared my hearts with the kids, but I did not. We'll find out the best way to get to the second box. That is under my desk. I'll just set that box behind me. And I promise not to step on it when I get up. Hold on a second. I'm removing the black layer off of the box because it does have mine, and obviously it has 2 addresses on the outside, and it's not your address, so you don't need to see it. Because unless I explicitly said you can have my address, you don't need that either. Even the boxes themselves have lots of tape on them. This one is my little box. It's just a wee little box. Well, Lisa, if your daughter ever tells you Marcia, if your daughter ever tells you she has absolutely no space to get rid of those boxes, let me know. I will drive down and pick up any of those boxes for you. Gladly. And when I've made comment before of making sure you unpack carefully and go through everything, and that's because you might wind up with small things. And if you're not paying attention, you may wind up let's zoom that camera a little bit. Okay. Let's again with a smaller box of things. You might wind up with small things, and if you don't go through all of this stuff, and Lisa is good at reusing everything I see. But like I said before, I opened these because I found little things in these before. And that's all packages. I don't care who they came from. That's it for this box. And I got one other box at my feet. Tape everywhere. And I am cautious with opening things. And I guess Topher is either snoring or gaming. He has not come down yet. And there goes my camera again. I am going to have to restart my camera. I really need to take the time and figure out this other camera. Maybe I'll do that during Rosie's live. Is figure out how to set up this iPhone to use as a camera and see if I have better luck with it. This whole piece of plastic is encased in tape because Lisa tapes your stuff up well. Why do I not remember this? I did not mark my list. I did not check my list. I should check my list. Because I get stuff, I will tell you, I get stuff and I forgot. It's like I totally forget what it is I ordered. And so I have a list that I mark things off of. Let me see. I got a green mamba. I got a pretty Lepidolite. Oh no, that was a Larvikite pendulum. And Topher got an obsidian worry stone. And evidently because I thought I needed another one, I got the amethyst, the chevron amethyst. And I did get this little pretty malachite tower. Because I think everybody should have malachite in their life too. And I do. I love my malachite. I am not a green person per se. I don't love greens. But for some reason, malachite does draw me in. Did get my pretty purple fluorite, and I got my moss agate birdie, and I got my dark amethyst on a stand that came from MZ Crimson Lizard. And I got the amethyst cave from MZ that is going towards the cost of a leather good. Euphorites will be sent out. I got a bag of rocks. I did get a smoky quartz. And I got another amethyst on a stand. So I have a spirit quartz, the huge spirit quartz sitting at Lisa's. Well, actually, it's probably at Robbie's by now. That I will pick up in April when I go down. We didn't want to risk shipping it. It is one that MZ also got towards the cost of rubber gates. And that is $1 for $1. You know, you spend $125 on a rock for me that I wanted, and I give you $125 credit towards a leather good. And the reason why I do it that way is, I mean, I have no problem doing it, is because what am I going to do? You give me the money, and then I will turn around and give it to Robbie. I got Lisa's wood. I got Lisa's wood. This is the petrified wood piece, and I made a joke about getting Lisa's wood. It is polished on this side, nice and smooth. The top of it, pieces of it is polished. This back piece is not polished, and this side is not polished, and the bottom is not polished. But it makes it where I will brace it because because this bottom piece is not level and it will roll forward. I will put something under the edge of it to make sure that it stays up and looking pretty in my shelf. But look at that, isn't it gorgeous? It is a gorgeous slab of wood. So one of the places I do get my pretties from is on Thursday nights. I go over to Tully's in a Pod and buy pretties from them. On Friday nights around 7:00, 7:30, I pop over to get Swamped, and I also buy goodies from him. I do need to check time because I know Rosie is going to be on at 5:15. So I will put this in my box that is sitting behind me. I'm going to give him a little yap so I don't have to worry. And I will grab my little malachite. And give him a wrap of something too. I have all this bubble wrap in upstairs, so that's easy enough to find some. And I will grab Topher's obsidian worry stone, and I will stick it in here just so it doesn't get displayed. And the other thing I got in today which also winds up being a box and a bag. In a bag. honey. And I will tell you now, I am in the basement, which means I do not have access to clean silverware. Oh, wait, I do have makeup spatulas. Yeah, I got clean makeup spatulas. What I like when you unbox it is you get, your little card. You also wind up with a recipe card. So if you're a recipe fanatic, and sometimes they're based on what kind of honey you have. It tells you where it's from, gives you information about the flavor of the honey, origin, and what it pairs well with. I do too, MZ. And that's why I went ahead and did this. And I get some of the honey, and then I let the kids have some. But I get mine first. I'm just getting out some little thingamabobbers. And if the weather is cold, you will notice that your honey can start to crystallize and look crystally. All you've got to do is heat it up a little bit, and you can do that by just putting the jar in hot water or running it under hot water. This is a gorgeous color of honey. Look at that. Mm. That's interesting tasting. I like it. I can't tell you what it tastes like. There's a plant that grows in the West. I don't know what it's called. It's a weed, I guess, or just a wild plant. And it looks really fuzzy. It's not a fern, or it could be in the fern family, but it's not a standard fern, but it looks really fuzzy. And this tastes the way that smells. Yeah. I'm really bad about knowing my plants. It's stuff I remember from my childhood. I remember the smell of the honey. The smell of that. Oh, this is actually one out of Georgia. Cool. Mild, woodsy, sweet, and spicy. Swamps of South Georgia. And I can't pronounce that word, so for some reason my hand is not steady today. This one is, look at that. It's such a clear, gorgeous. I can see the light through it. So you can see through this one. The other one you couldn't see through. It had a more milky appearance to it. This is just really just glides. That would be good on a buttered biscuit. My southern's showing now. and I make sure that I close these jars up before I put them back in here. And I'm just putting them back in here to take them upstairs because it's easier to carry them in the box. And they do put this wrapping stuff between them. This one is the Beekeeper's Blend Coffee Blossom Honey. And it's from Guatemala, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce the name of that. Jennifer. Clean, bright, and crisp coffee blossoms at Finca El. I cannot pronounce it because it is not my language, but it is in Guatemala. Oh, this one is not opening. They do close up these jars quite well. And also in transport, if any of the honey gets out and then hardens up, it creates a very tight seal. And if you ever got honey on your threads of your jar of honey and then tried to open it a little bit later, oh, my phone is doing its own little thing with the zooming. Okay, this one's going to have to wait because I absolutely cannot open this jar. And I don't know if it's just my hands because I am having trouble with both of my thumbs or if it's just stuck. I will leave that to open later. I will run it and put some hot water on that lid. And these little boxes are great to keep to ship things in. Right now I have several of these boxes downstairs, upstairs, with rocks in them, gems, where I've categorized them. And I'm going to kill myself getting out of this area because I put the box directly behind my chair, which means I can't roll my chair back now. So maybe when the older boy comes down here to get his pretty, I can convince him that he wants to take my box upstairs so that I'll be able to get out of here. Last time I was live, we had been working on, I worked on laying out, cutting out the toiletry set. And I got one of the boxes almost finished. It's an almost round box. And as you can see, in the top of it, it is square, but with these deep rounded corners that makes it where they call it an almost round box. And that you got a nice little handle with it, just by the nature of how it's made. The bottom of it is being held on by the stitch holders that Marcia bought me. You can see how the layers are. Oh, no, not my camera's going to keep messing up. I am going to stop the camera and I'm going to restart the app that I'm using for my camera because this is crazy that it keeps locking up like it is. I'm going to stop it. I just want it to have a nice, I want the app to work like it's supposed to, and I want my camera to work the way it's supposed to. So I've now restarted that. I didn't move anything, so in theory it's going to work the same. What? You're right, it doesn't exist anymore. I wonder if YouTube shut it down or if Wolf just got tired of it and he shut it down. I could, if if it got deleted, you can't undelete it. Oh, I'm so sad. No, I'm not. She's going to come back with a totally different channel. Now, see, the word doxing to me is giving out people's legal information. And considering that she gives out her legal information, I don't know how you'd call that doxing. Because, like, I do not use my legal name on the internet. And so if anyone that has paid me PayPal goes out and starts saying my legal name on the internet and giving out my address, my email address I use for business, not legal, that has my legal name attached to it, that would be doxing. My daughter has dealt with that. But Barbara gives out her legal name. Exactly. She puts her legal name out there. She puts her email address out there. She puts out enough information on where she lives that it's easy to find where she lives. But so, oh yeah, I didn't turn the camera back on now, did I? There we go. So there's my little box. It opens up. You can see inside. When I finish it and see, you can, well, those scissors are a little bit big to go in there. But I could make a set of these and use these to store my leather punches in. I could make a set for down here. But I'm going to stitch this bottom on today. And as you stitch it together, it starts to take shape. What I did was I took this line between this corner and this corner, and I just gave it a little pinch to help it along with the almost round shape and give it that little bit of those square corners. And with this leather, it also causes it to change the coloration right there. It lightens it because this leather has that pull up that when you bend it, it changes colors. And so that way my box now has some shades of purple when I turn it. And that's okay with me. Started using my small black one because, which I have some more of these small black spools, and that's what I'm going to have to dig out. I got tired of messing with the wax. Okay, make sure it wants around. So I'm measuring out me a length of and I am still waiting on leather for the garrison cap, so we may be working on these again tomorrow. Get me a pair of needles. And now I need to see. Yeah. And Lisa, the thing is that because she gives out her legal name, and she doesn't just give out her legal name, she gives out both. She gives out both names. So she gives out her married name and her birth name. So she gives out two names. And with that information, all you have to do is pay any company a couple of bucks and do a background check, and you've got all the information you need on her. No one is putting her private information out there. Her information is out there. She's just giving everybody the tools to find it. And the reality is, it's hard for many people to hide. You'd be like Robbie saying someone's doxing him for saying his name and his email address and his mailing address, his house address, when he's given that information out before publicly. Let me find that back seam. Oh, there's the back seam. I put two of those pin holders there, or the placeholders there. And sewing this part on is, you don't have a lot of room to work with. So using those stitch savers, as we call them, to mark your location, your holes, it helps keep them aligned. Makes this step a lot easier. And getting this started and not pulling the other thread is important. Because I do like to have my threads even. Nothing like, if you don't keep them even, you'll get to the end and one of them will be too short and the other one will be too long. Oh yeah, getting this in through the hole the second time is going to be the fun part. There we go. And then when I've done that, I can remove this one. Let me get my container, my trusty reused Altoids tin. Trying to get it where you can actually see what I'm doing over here. I'm wondering if the police would actually order someone off the internet legally. They can do that. But I suspect she's going to come under, she will show up again and she will have a totally new name. I'm going to guess that she will just try to start over. And someone like her can't start over until she goes to therapy for her mental health issues. There is no starting over. Why is that one being so difficult getting through that hole? There's a little red thread. I had a piece of red thread in that hole. Don't know why. This is the hard part, is trying to sew when I'm on that straight edge. More than likely, I am going to be stitching through my threads on this because it's harder to avoid that. You've got less room to work with. So I just need to make sure that I'm keeping my stitches snug so I don't cause any problems if I do stitch through. I'm going to try to pull that one, to pull this thread over to this side. There we go. I do have a red thread on there now. Red fuzzy. Must be from my jacket. A couple of weeks ago, we went out to dinner, and me, being the smart person that I am, did not take a jacket with me. Actually, what were we doing? Topher and I were doing something else. Oh, it was when I went to get to the insurance company to file the claim. That's when it was. And then we decided to go to dinner because Topher and I passed by one of the places we love going, and it was like, hey, we should just tell them we're going here. So we texted the group chat. We have a family group chat. We just texted everybody and said, hey, this is where we're going to eat tonight. Meet us. Let us know when you're going to get here and meet us here, and we'll eat. And the temperature started dropping. And it started getting colder. And I'm out without a jacket. Because if you've ever been to Georgia in this time of year, you know you always carry a jacket. Always. Because you never know what the weather's going to do. You could be tootling along and it's 70 something degrees, and an hour later the temperature has dropped 20 degrees, it seems like. So, and I'm going to tell you, we were at almost 80 degrees the other day. I had to actually turn the AC on because it was 78 degrees in the house. And 2 days later, it's 39 degrees. The weather here is crazy. Insane, crazy. So, yeah. Oh, now it's going smooth. I must have lined those corners up good. And there is no glue holding this. It is, I put it in last night and molded around with it and put these stitch keepers in. Stitch saver, stitch keeper, something like that. Pattern what? I put the stitch keepers in last night. That's what I'll start calling them. That works. That might be what they are. And made sure I counted the holes to make sure that they were from right here. I don't know that you can see the seam, but this is the center back right here. And so I know where, that's a clear point. So I could count from the first hole around. And so I counted to get to the corner, and I did in that way. I counted the outside piece and this inside piece so that I made sure that the holes were going to align. And because the hole spacing is consistent all the way around, meaning that the amount of space between each hole this way is the same on the front piece and the back piece, once you start aligning those holes, the other pieces just kind of fall into place. And when I finish this, I'm going to clean up this bottom piece, this bottom edge. I will sand it smooth and make sure that it is colored black. And when I get finished with it, I'm actually going to probably melt some beeswax and heavily wax this bottom edge because it will be in a bathroom, which means it will be prone to getting damp and wet. And I don't want that bottom piece absorbing any moisture. But actually, if Lisa is still on here, when I get this finished, I'm going to tell you what the footprint of the 5 pieces are and see if you have a tray about that, a mold for a tray about that size, and get the pricing on that. And that way, when I price these out, I can include the price of getting a tray from you as well. And we can collab on these of I make the leather goods and Lisa makes this nice valuable tray so that your items don't get wet when you have them in a bathroom, because I am going to be traveling with these, which means it's going to be on a bathroom counter. And the last thing I want is for my leather to pick up who knows what from a hotel bathroom. So having a nice tray to put it on, a tray I can wipe down with a bleach wipe, would be nice. And I'm going to be sending you a box so I can actually send you a piece of this leather and you can see what you can do for colors. Otherwise, it'll just be black. But I know that Marcia had asked me about the pricing on the set. And so being able to have options to give people of, yes, I can make these for you for X number of dollars. And if you want to make sure you're keeping your leather dry while you're using this toiletry set in a hotel, you can pop right on over here to Lisa and get this wonderful tray to put it on to protect your leather. I mean, I know most hotels have some form of tray you can use, but I want one that matches my set and makes my set unique. My thread just kind of knotted itself. Yep, I've got a knot in there. And there is no way for me to get this needle out without tightening that knot. So I'm going to cut the needle off of there. Well, I told you that eventually we would wind up collabing on something. And this is one of those things that it's perfect. Could I go buy a mold and pour resin to make trays? Yes, I could. Does that give me another hobby I said I wasn't going to pick up? Yes, it does. And why do I need to do that when I have someone that can do it? That's the way I see it. Resin is not my passion. Making things out of leather is something that I really enjoy doing. So I'm not going to pick up on something that someone else is already doing. So, it's like for all your resin goods, go to Lisa. 2 leaves in a pod, go to Lisa. She can make you all the things. She makes snakes and spheres and trinket boxes, skulls, ring holders, all the things. And these thread keeps getting caught on those, but yeah. You can see there. stitching on these. The one thing I don't like about this leather is the underside of it is brown, so it shows through the stitching holes sometimes. And so what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to take one of the conditioners I have that has a black pigment in it, and I'm going to rub it lightly on the edges where the stitching lines are. It may darken the leather in those areas a little bit, so I will be careful how I do it so that it gives it a nice look, almost like a patina look on those edges. But it will cover those holes, the stitch marks, and any residual tan coloring that shows through the stitch holes. But in reality, I could make these little boxes any height. I would just have to adjust this piece and these two pieces. I would have to adjust the height on them to make them the right height. So, I could make a trinket of one box only this deep, which would be not much. Bottle of water between my feet. I have to remember when I'm down here to stay hydrated, because I will get so into working on leather that I absolutely will forget to drink anything. And we know how bad that is for us. And I am absolutely trying to keep that keeping my stitches snug as I go. And Lisa, for the record, when she does come back, she is going to say that someone hacked her account and deleted her channel. That is what she's going to say. That her account was hacked, and whoever hacked it deleted it. And they're investigating it, and they will find out who did it, and they'll go after them. Because all those subs Oh, I wonder. Let me check something out. Well, there's nothing on his about it, so. I found it sad anyway that she put YouTube. I mean, she was talking about how it was affecting their relationship, but yet she put YouTube in front of that relationship, and I just couldn't believe that. You would risk everything. You'd risk your 17-year relationship for a bunch of strangers over the internet. That just seemed kind of. Now I'm curious if someone didn't go after her for her false claims, or YouTube got tired of the drama. I don't know. Can the police order you off of the internet? Literally, like legally, like you're off the internet. End of discussion. Close it down. Or Wolf got up in the middle of the night and deleted it. Got tired of playing the role. These things work so good at holding my place. This would be so much more difficult without the stitch holders, because the bottom piece would have been flopping inside to the inside of the box, and I would have been fighting to keep it up where I needed it to be. It's there. Those things are one of the things that I never realized how much I needed them until I had them. It's one of those kind of things. You don't realize how much you need it until you have it in hand and start using it, and then you're like, oh, this is what I've been missing. And that's what it was with these, because I was like, oh, that's too simple. That, yeah, no, it can't be. That can't. What's the big deal about those things? And so, because the guy I get my patterns from was recommending them, I put them on my wish list. It's like, fine, I'll stick them on my wish list. And then when you got these, it was like, holy cow. Yeah, big difference. I shouldn't say holy cow. Come up with a different saying. Holy leather crowns. But yeah, it made a big difference. Definitely made a big difference. So it actually speeds up my process because I am fighting to find holes a lot less. It actually gives me the ability to check things out and make sure I'm doing it right to begin with. Which is what I did when I was sewing this bottom piece on to this strap. I put these all the way around it, and then I was like, hey, wait a minute. That's not right. But I hadn't stitched it yet, so I was able to catch it and not have to unstitch things. Pull this thread snug. God, now I want to email and ask what happened to the channel. But I don't want to get sucked in at the same time. But I'm nosy. Lisa, you should email and ask her what's wrong. What happened to her channel? Oh, I know who we could get to ask. One of her buddies that still hangs around in our rooms. Because we know there's a couple that hang around in our room and her room at the same time. I need to find out if I can get another one of these hides because I like this leather. If I'm not mistaken, this is the leather CC DeVille's hat's made out of. Going up into those corners, it gets a little wonky trying to line up those lines, the stitch holes. That is not where I want to be. Get back here where the stitching is. And actually jump to the next hole. Nice corners. And most of these edges line up smooth, which makes it easier for me. Oh, I took the gloves off yesterday when we were eating dinner, and I think they're attached to my purse upstairs. I'm the world's worst at setting things like that down and misplacing them. And because I did something non-standard last night, my brain is thrown off. Either that or they're sitting on the sink in one of the bathrooms. Because that's another time, obviously I take them off. Mm. But my hands are okay. The braces actually help. The compression gloves actually do help. They help quite a bit. I mean, I can still feel it today in my thumbs, but I'm using them because that's what the doctor says you're supposed to do even when it hurts. I'm using them, but I'm not over stressing them. I'm compensating in a way that I know I need to not put undue pressure on them, but yet moving them so they don't get stiff. Because that was one of the things we talked about before when I had some joint issues is making sure that I am still using the joint and not causing it to get stiff, which is exactly what I did with my shoulder. When my shoulder started acting up, I just used it less and less. and to the point that I couldn't hardly do anything. And I went to the doctor, and he says, well, you can't move it because you haven't been moving it, and you're allowing the inflammation to take over. And 2 injections into the joint later, and I'm fine-ish. I'm fine for the most part. But I'm waiting to see what they're going to see about my hands. And I pray they don't want to just do injections in my thumbs, because I've had that before and I almost hit the doctor. I was going to use black zippers, and then they decided that I didn't need my black zippers. And I have no clue where they are. They're somewhere lost in the postal system. And I found my box of zippers, so I used what I had. And I did not have solid black zippers. I mean, I will have black zipper tape when I get done, because it is going to come in eventually. But I ordered it. It was supposed to be next day delivery. That's what I selected. And they did what they wanted to do instead of doing what I asked them to do. But my mail has been playing around with me. I mean, the box from Lisa was in Georgia for 2 days, being moved from facility to facility. It went in and out of the Atlanta distribution center, I think 2 or 3 times. And it's like, this is crazy. But at least they didn't lose the boxes. I had that happen before. They were listing my boxes being tromped around Georgia. And the box never arrived. Luckily, it was something from Amazon that they could reissue. But yeah, so I was going to use solid black zippers until my zipper tape that I ordered did not come in. Almost back around. Hi, Betty Dietman. Don't think I've seen you here before. Wow. Yeah, I had one box one time that was sent, and the box came to Georgia, went to the Atlanta distribution center. Then the next thing I know, my box is in Tennessee. And it did not go to Canada, but it tromped all over. It trounced all over the United States and came to me like 2 weeks later. Betty, people are welcome to hang out here and not say a word if they just want to watch what I'm doing. I am fine with that. Yeah, it's like I've made comments before. You can be a lurker, stalker, a troll. I don't care. If you're just going to hang out, I'm good with that. This is a safe zone, so to speak. I don't look at my numbers and go, well, there's only 5 people talking and I got 30 people watching. Stalker. No, I am good with just hanging out, and I understand that because I've done that myself. I'll go to a channel and I don't want to talk. I just want to watch what they're doing. And I will sit there and watch what they're doing. And I'm on the last corner. I have a love-hate relationship with corners. I I love to make them nice and tight and make them look good. And I hate them because in order to make a corner really lay smooth with two pieces, the hole placement of this inside piece versus the outside piece is not the same. And so it's you kind of have to maneuver it to get it to do right. You have to pull it snug so it makes sure that it closes the gaps and everything. Is he trying to catch his gator that's in the pond of the guy that lives next to him? Or is this an external gator call? Ah. Oh, come on and line up the hole. All right. Let's see why it went this way. Let me see if I can just hold the line up a little better. There we go. I guess it is that season again where gator calls will just happen. The gators are starting to move again. Every time the weather gets nice, the gators start moving because they see that sunshine and they're like, "Oh yeah, let's go, sunshine!" And they want to get out and absorb some of that warmth. And then it starts because if they've been, it's not a true hibernation, but they've been, laying and waiting, laying and hiding, whatever you want to call it. They're not eating as much in the winter. So then summertime rolls around or springtime when the weather starts getting nice again. Those gators are hungry. And so they start roaming more. And Robbie starts getting calls. And I'm on my last stitch, which is going to be tough because there's multi layers of thread through this hole. Come on, there we go. Pull that one snug, pull that one snug. Pull that snug. Give me a little bit of a surgeon's knot here. Get me some heat on this. I need to buy myself a electric thread zapper so I can quit using fire on it. It gives it a neater look when you use the electric thread zapper. Push that down. And I have one completed leather box, with the exception of me cleaning up this edge a little bit. And then again, you unzip it. You can just, over time, this will bend easier. But you can bend that back. And you can drop your items in. Stack it with whatever you want or need. And there you go. So this is the almost round 7-inch box. I am not going to bore you with me using the Dremel to sand this bottom down, because it is not exciting at all. It is also very messy. It literally entails me getting this little fella on here and just doing this a lot. But I need to change it out to a sandpaper wheel. So I will do this later when I'm not on live. I'll just set him right here. And last night I did make holes, lots of holes, for the almost round short box. And you may notice on my pieces that I have lettering. AR means almost round and S stands for short. I did that because so many of these pieces are very similar. But like on the round ones, the diameter of the boxes, the tall one and the short one, the diameters are different. So keeping the bottom piece separate and making sure I know which one is the short box and which one is the tall box, and this strip that this gets sewn onto, it's extremely important to keep them, the right ones, together for the boxes that are not the same size around. Oh, I just shifted my table. That was bad. Almost very bad. And it's just because I wanted to turn my heater on. And my heater sits under my feet because my basement is currently not using the heat unit, but it will eventually. So I went ahead and marked and pre-punched the holes for the zipper. So I was lining them up with the other holes because I found that I could line it up with straight across with the holes all the way down and put the exact same spacing on the zipper, and that'll make it really nice. So, but I will cut that piece out. Now these other pieces. I just tossed them to the side and I'm waiting for the landslide to happen. Earlier I made a comment about the stitch holes showing, and that's because if you look at this leather from an angle from across, pull this tape off of here, you can see that the purple coating, that's the purple that's on this side, is not dyed all the way through. They did not drum dye this one. Some leather is dyed in a drum, so basically they take the whole leather piece and they completely submerge it in the dye solution, which means it bleeds into the leather on all sides. So the back side would also be dyed, and a lot of this inside would be dyed. And that is true on a lot of leathers. I'm trying to think if I have anything handy that would show that. Oh, actually, this piece of kangaroo, which is thinner, but the kangaroo is purple on both sides. And when you turn it to the side and you cut it, you don't see any other colors on that edge here where I've cut it. Even though it's thin, you would, if it was tan on the inside, you would see it. That means they took this whole hide and they submerged it completely in the dye solution. And so the dye absorbed all the way through it and made it where when you cut it, that cut edge is purple, just like the top and just like the underside. I'm going to keep my scrap bin around here for a reason. And that's true of a lot of pieces. They'll do that. And so the coloration is all the way through. Not true on this one. So as cool as this leather is, the downside of it is that. So what happens is I have to put color on this edge to finish my edges. But also I have to deal with when I hole punch it. Let's see if it'll pick up. You can see in those holes, you can see the brown showing through. So yeah. And I do a couple of cuts and I still get a very smooth edge. I found if I fight to push through all the leather at one time, I wind up with a more uneven edge. But if I take the time and do it in a couple of swipes, I wind up with a very clean and smooth edge. Because believe me, I was in the beginning, I would fight no matter how thick that leather was. I would fight to try to get it through in one cut. And first of all, it was putting undue tension on my joints. And I was more prone to not cutting on the line because my hand would slip easier because I had so much pressure going down. But like this still gives me a nice clean edge to work with. And this I did tape on the back side instead of the front side because I didn't want to risk any residue. This is, you can see where it picks up everything. And I actually have to buff this out when I'm done. I will have to buff it out so there's nothing on it and it looks pretty. So, yeah. And one of the things I do is I try to keep my knife straight and not cantered to one side or the other when I'm cutting. I'm not always perfect because none of us are perfect. You saw my pretties, Beth. I think there's another delivery coming because I have dogs barking outside or inside the house. I hear Miss Dakota in there. I can move the pattern piece because I've already notched into the leather. I can absolutely feel where that needs to go. And I keep those strips because I never know when I'm going to use them for something. Stick my pattern pieces off to the side in case I need them for something else. And I have the bottom strip that will go between. This strip is this part right here on the inside edge. So when it goes on this way, the base piece is stitched to the bottom set of stitch holes, and the side piece gets to the top of the stitch holes to make that have a recessed bottom, which is going to be really nice when I finish that off. Beth, anyone that's watched me on these channels enough knows how I have a love of amethyst. It is my birthstone. I believe purple is the color of royalty. I believe that all humans have their own royal status in themselves. If I think of myself as a worthy person and treat myself as a worthy person, then I am a worthy person. That is the woo-woo of how to take care of yourself. I do not let others give my body value, give myself value. I give myself value. I don't need anyone else to do that for me. And now comes the fun part. I get to dig out all the who's its and what's its. Don't need those yet. This is what you need. And things aren't going where they need to go. In the hole. These are what they call quarter rounds, except that one. Quarter round cutters. Because they make, they make round cutters, but they also make half round cutters, which is basically this cutter is half of a circle. If you cut it this way, you could spin it around this way and cut, and you'd wind up with a circle. These are quarter rounds. And they work great when you want to cut a corner and make it smooth and perfect. You just find out which one fits on your lines the best. And that's the one you end up using, not that one. That one. Maybe this one. And you line it up and you give it a good whack. And it cuts through to the other side. And so I will do all four corners, and then I'll take my razor knife and I will connect these lines. And that'll give me nice smooth edges. And it'll make sure, and I will use this same piece on the other corners so that my corners are consistent. Jennifer, you can sit there and whistle innocently all you want. Remember, I know you, lady. I need to move that one so I remember which one I was using. So I consistently use the same one. And for those that have done geometry, it's like these create perfect arcs. And one day I will invest in an expensive set. This set is not expensive, not by any stretch of the imagination. I bought it off Amazon years ago when I started doing this stuff. And they currently continue to do their work. So I haven't replaced them yet. I mean, there's a lot of manufacturers that make some excellent ones I would love to invest in. But again, I'm frugal when it comes to spending my money in a lot of ways. And I've got this one little piece here that I'm going to have to straighten up. That didn't feel right when I cut it. Shave it down with the razor's edge a little bit. And when it has all those fuzzies on it, one of the ways I reduce the fuzzies on leather is with heat. I just burn those fuzzies right off. And I will actually go around my pieces burning off any fuzz that's residual fuzz that's left behind, because those edges are going to be finished anyway. I paint all the edges on this leather project, even the ones that aren't going to show at the end. I finished all of them on the other on the other leather part that I did when I did the other box. And you can see the bottom, the edge doesn't get seen unless you go inside the box and you look way down in there. Let's see if I can get the right light. You can see that black edge in there. And that's from where I finished the edge of the box. This piece here that's underneath here that comes down this back strap, which is equivalent to this piece. I did not finish the edges, and you can tell when you look in here. You can see there's no black edge there. Which is a show that I didn't finish that edge. It was a choice, and I will do it the same when I do the other ones. I will not finish the edge on those pieces, on this piece of any of them, so that when you open them up, they're consistent. Don't know if I'm going to need, yes, I will need some of those other ones. And then when we get to these pieces, that's where these half rounds come into play. You find out which one lines up best. And I need two different ones. I need one to fit this and one to fit that. That's not it. That one is a little bit too small. It would cut into the side. I think it's the next size up. And that one is too big. And I know one of these fit. Maybe I winged it. I can use this on this back edge. And you can see that it didn't meet the edges over here. And so I am going to have to manually cut that piece. But it still gives a good clean edge on this back side. And we need a much smaller one. This piece. And I do all this stuff first. And actually, I might need those again. I think I used the half rounds. Yeah, I did. Because of the way these pieces are cut in, I could manually cut it with a razor knife. It's just much harder to do. That it's easier for me to take this half round, stick it in there, and cut that corner smooth. And then use the razor knife to join the lines. This one may need a much bigger circle. Go up in there. I think the next size up is going to be too big to give me. Yeah, that overlaps. I am giving very firm wax on this thing to make it go through all the layers, go through the thickness, because this is a thicker leather. Finish with the. I'll finish with the half circles. That one doesn't look right. Here we go. And I'm matching that up with where I just finished that, using that half circle. To cut that edge. And so those pieces lined up nicely. So you can see how that gave that nice curve here. And I'll finish it up and clean it up a little bit when I'm working on it. Because there's some edge work that goes into this. And I do check to make sure it feels like it goes all the way through. I just double check it, because once I hate pulling up my tool and then finding out I didn't cut all the way through and I have to get it back into alignment exactly the same, so that I avoid creating a jagged edge. There it goes. I need to sharpen these, I guess. I need to see if I can find a small variable speed grinder. Shoot. Those edges. Let me see if this is the same. This will work on these edges. And it will not. It's too big. Because this is a smaller inner piece. I'm trying to do this without sticking my head in the camera, because I hate seeing the back of someone's head. And you go on a stream to watch it and you're looking at the back of someone's head because someone's leaning in over the camera. And it's like, here's a head. See around it. It's especially bad on streams when you're trying to buy something and you wind up with a head in the camera. And you're like, I can't see it. I'm not buying the back of your head. Yeah. There it goes. Knocked off the top of the hammer again. I really need to put some JB Weld on that. There it goes again. I keep pushing my table piece. My phone keeps telling me someone's trying to call me, and I can't see who it is. Spam filter. Numbers I don't know. I'm good. I'm good. And Jennifer, if you want, this is true for anything, you think about it. If you want something to look good, you have to give that precision to it. You have to line up things. It's the same thing when you're coloring in a coloring book. If you want it to look good, you need the precision to keep it inside the lines. And this is no different. I need to make sure that I'm keeping it on the line. To give it that finished look. And I keep hesitating in my speaking because I am focused on what I'm doing. And that makes it a little, it's like trying to keep my ADHD under control. That's it. Yeah. Because I do have ADHD. And if I lose my focus, I will screw up royally. Have done that in the past. When I first started doing this stuff, and I would allow myself to become deeply distracted, and doing this is not distracting me, but I would get deeply distracted, and I threw away hundreds of dollars worth of leather because of it. And then I kicked myself in the butt and said, why'd you throw that away? Just because you messed up something doesn't mean you throw the leather away. You save the leather and reuse it. I will need to clean that up with when I do the edges. Oh, it is 4:49 here. It is getting into time for me to log off for the day because I know that Rosie comes on today, and I do not want to cut into her stream time. She comes on at 5:15. And we have a chit chat kind of stream over there. Some days when she's on, you might catch her crocheting while she's on stream. There's Rosie's channel. And so if you have not done so, please press that thumbs up and give me a like on this video. If you're not subscribed, please do so. If you wish to support the channel, it would be deeply appreciated. And hit the little bell notification, which will let you know when I go on live again, which will be tomorrow. And I appreciate you supporting the channel by being here and watching my videos. If you wish to lend more support, you may do so by going down to the description of the video, and my links are there. You can view my works on Instagram. I'm in the process of working on a website. I need to get some pictures to my website developer to get that done. But all my other information is there. I do have an Amazon wish list for things that I will need or do need. Most of the things I need immediately, I buy as I go. So if someone hasn't bought something off the wish list and I find that I'm going to need it for the next project, I wind up buying it myself. Because the inclusion of the hardware and everything, unless it's something really strange, is included in the price of the items that I make. You know, obviously, if someone wanted sterling silver buckles, that cost would go straight to that person that wants sterling silver buckles. Because that would be an expense I'm not willing to pay. Because then you'd wind up with buckles that cost more than the item, and I would lose money. So when I give prices to people, it is to use ordinary products, standard products that I use. It is not, you know, it's like even the price of things does not include using specialty leathers such as alligator hide or snake hide or elephant or anything like that. It is, or specialty dyed stuff. It is standard pricing that I use for standard leathers, not any of the fancy stuff. So with that, I am going to close out today. I will finish cutting this piece out. You know what, Jennifer? You buy opal studded buttons and I will make your item for you. That's basically how I'd handle that. Oh, you want me to put opal studded buttons on this wrist cuff? That's fine. I will make the wrist cuff. You will provide me with the opal studded buttons and I will gladly stitch to them on. Yep. And I've actually done that and would do so again. So I hope you all had a wonderful Saturday and continue to do so. I hope tomorrow brings you a smile. I hope to see you tomorrow. I will be on at around 2 o'clock again, and we'll stream longer tomorrow probably, just to get some stuff done. If leather magically shows up on my doorstep today, I'll work on garrison caps, and if it does not, then I will continue working on this set until I get it done. And I do appreciate you being here. Everybody be safe in this crazy world. You take care of yourself and be kind to yourself and be kind to others. And random acts of kindness, people. As Robbie Kesey says on his Get Swamp channel, random acts of kindness. And I will see you all tomorrow to continue working on the almost round short box unless I finish it tonight, and then it'll be a different one. I will not start on something with the hole punching and cutting out because that's where I left off today. So if anything, if I finish this one today, I will hole punch and cut out the next one, which will be one of the round containers. And we will work on one of those. Maybe I will have it where you can watch me put in the zipper. So I will talk to you all later. Thank you again for being here, and have a blessed day. Bye for now.